scan. How does scan work? So I think scan takes an array of all of these things plus accumulator. I think we want to turn this into an array or an object with member ID and member state. So no. Actually, we just need an array of member IDs. Right? I think we just need an array of member IDs. So in the scan, do we take the previous value and the new value? Is that right? Or is it the other way around? Is it the previous value and the accumulator? I need to see an example. Accumulator and the current value, and new accumulator, followed by the initial value. Okay, accumulator and value. Okay, followed by new accumulator. Great. Okay, so the value can be one of those things. It can be movements and states, or something with a member ID, Puzrot, or something that looks like member state updated. Which is a member state, member ID, and a new state. So the hard thing is determining what kind of message you're getting. But for all of these, this one you get states, this one you get a state, this one you get a new state, instead of calling it new state, why don't we just call it state? State. New state, new state. Let's just comment out all of member manager. I'm not using this. Signal hub member state updated. Let's just give it state. That's the message. and member state, okay, space broker, member state changed, so just be state and state, and space channel, yes, that will be the new state, that's fine, but you can just call it state. And then just return state and state. Space channel handle in. State. 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 Signal hub. This is all coming out. Okay, I think we're good. Coming back to WebRTC Manager. Combine latest. Member ID. Member ID. Okay, so if the thing has a member ID, then you're probably going to add something based on whether the microphone is on or off. And member here, you're going to go through all of them. I think it might be easier to hold an object with true or false as to whether their mic is muted or not, and then delete them. Yeah, it still seems to be an easier object to work with. So here we'll just do this. If value member ID and value state, then you're either this one or this one. Then you can say that accumulator member ID equals value of the state and mic pref. Is that what's the type in? Yeah, mic pref. you'll get the microreference in there. Otherwise, this one has states, else if value states is present, then you're going to have to loop through the states and do the same thing. So object entries value states for each member ID and state. You will do accumulator member ID. Sorry, this should be value of member ID. Equals state mic pref. Okay. Finally, else if value has leaves, which is presence diff, and presence diff has joins and leaves, then go through object entries of value leaves, and for each one of those, which is member ID to something we don't care about, you'll do delete accumulator member ID. And finally, you'll return the accumulator, which contains the mic status being on or off. And so that is fine. So then, after you scan, you'll want to map. So we want to map, and we want to change the mic, all mic prefs, which is maybe I can tell you what it is. Say, it should be member ID, which is a string to either on or off. That's what it is. And we want to change this into a count. So we'll just reduce so all mic prefs Object entries from here. Object entries from all mic prefs. And reduce with a function and initial value, which will be mic on count and member count. And we're given member ID followed by the mic preference. And we need the previous value, which is the accumulator. And we're going to return some new kind of accumulator. And so if accumulator member ID, member count, just increment that always. And then if mic preference is equal to on, then you say accumulator mic on count. Otherwise it just remains 0. So now we can do what this was doing before. Sure. Mic on count, member count, mic on count, member count. So here, if your mic on count is 0, greater than 0, and the member count is greater than 1, then we can join and publish audio. Otherwise, you just leave. So let's see if this still works. Okay, I can't tell if it was published or not. Let's see. We should see Web RTC Manager. We're not getting any of this. So set up WebRTC events. So we're mapping this. Let's just do this tap value. Tap is not defined. Well, there again. It's very odd. Okay, so our tap is not being called. Console log web RTC events setting up. Okay, we got this part. Receiving mic muted is true. Join the space. Presence diff and leave. Why aren't we getting a tap? Because we got this from Logger Manager. We should receive a tap. So incoming on any of this. Let's just subscribe to presence diff. So presence diff, subscribe diff, console log, I got diff and diff. Okay, I got a diff. We should also get a member, let's say, we shouldn't get new member, but we should get members. So, how about members? Members, member, remember, member. I got members. So when we join, boop, I got members. So now you got both of these. Now if you combine both of them, combine latest with members and presence diff and subscribe to value console log bind and value. Combine give you two of these in one message. I don't need to combine them. RxJS marbles combine latest. Combine latest forces them into one message. We just want to we just want to merge. Yes. Just bring them all into the same thing, right? Concat puts them one after another. The two can never be before one. So we want merge, whatever order they appear in. So we want merge, not this. Okay, getting tap. Tap, observable, tap. Interesting, it's not the value that I'm getting tapped, it's the observable. Okay, let's just take the tap out. Let's just see if it works. How about down here, WebRTC Manager? Yes, we get no one is joined up front. Finally, WebRTC Manager. It doesn't look right, and we get a whole bunch of messages here. Yeah, you'll get a whole bunch of messages because of we don't want double messages to come through. So so here's one thing we can do. We can actually put this logic. So we'll filter only if this is enable or disable. And finally, we'll just filter when result no, I think we want to map it again. So map turn that into this, and we want to map it again to be object into something else, which would be true or false. And then here you'll want to suppress the, you want to make it distinct. So distinct until changed. Fix. This one is, I think you can just do this. Object mic on count greater than 0 and object member count greater than 1. This is either true or false. So if that's true, then join. So it should be should join. And if should join is true, then do that. So I do that. But before we double map and do this, let's see why none of these actually incremented anything. Okay, so we're going to do this. So if, let's do a console log. Console log, this is either new member or member state updated. If you get states, this is console.log members, and then if you get leaves, console.log, this was a diff. And in each of these cases, I want you to console log the accumulator at that point. So if we just load this, what is this? App ID cannot be empty. Yeah, the accumulator is nothing. Oh, it didn't match any of these? So what was the value then? Oh, I think the value wasn't any of these. I have to subscribe to them first. Wait a minute. On this, but these are observables, right? So do you merge then subscribe? Or a merge? Hmm. On returns an observable. Merge takes a list of observable sources. It's a little bit different because this is like an emitter. So I can subscribe to it. So something's coming out. I'm just not getting the value. This value is an observable. What does merge all do? Get a source pipe, map each value to a promise. My promise takes it. Okay. Emit result from source. Merge all. Interval pipe take 5. Merge all. Converts higher order observable into a first order observable which concurrently delivers all values that are emitted on the inner observables. Flattens an observable of observables. So now we get joins. So this is a diff because we got joins and leaves. With the joins we didn't do anything with that. Where's our movements and states? So we didn't make it down to here, where I wanted to output the should join. We're going to map this into this thing. Console.log first map accumulator. Then activate these. Okay, the first map member count is 1. Then I open up Firefox. On this one, now the member count is 2. And if one of us unmute, oh, it didn't change. Make sure unmuting didn't take us to the other side. Okay, but if I close this side, we get member count 1. So, okay, member count is working, but seems like we're not getting the message from the microphone. So receiving mic muted preference, true and false. Let's go to the menu manager. When you click on that thing, go to your tag, menu callback, mic callback. You're going to send observables mic muted preference with the inverted value, and that's sent to receiving mic. Let's see, that should go to who's observing mic muted preferences. Mic, mic muted pref. Who's receiving that? Well, Space Broker is. So we're going to emit this. Alright, so we can watch this console and see if anything comes through. No, nothing's coming through. So we're forward mic preference as state. Forward mic preference as state. Console log here. Console log observing mic pref change. Is needed. Observing mic pref change, so we do get in here. Then we go outgoing emit member state patched. So outgoing. Oh, I think we have to look at each outgoing. Here's where I wanted to look at signal hub outgoing all. Subscribe to all events. It returns an observable of member state. It is a function. Does it take a callback? So what does it say here? Expected 1 argument. Yes. Then expected 0 arguments but got 1. want no arguments. But then if I do this, this expects no arguments. But it returns something. I don't understand how to use this. Let's look at the package. Package. It was called type RX emitter. Emitter all subscribe. Okay. If I subscribe to all outgoing, get mic pref on. And what is the... That's the payload, but we don't know what the event name is. Just get a member state. Next value. Put anything else in there? Outgoing all. Outgoing events is one of outgoing events, and outgoing events only has one. No, it's got a couple. It's got two, and both of them are member state. So it's like this state or that state. Okay, I guess I don't have a generic one. I'm going to have to... It doesn't work out well. So on member state changed, I'll figure out a better solution for this. On member state patched, just say push member state patched, send that state. To do this is kind of redundant. So if we send out the member state patch, now it should send out. Okay, now we're receiving our own mic count. Bring back the Firefox. Join the space, we get a count of 2. If I unmute my microphone, other side joins the microphone as well. Receive mute message. So what was the last mic on count? I can't tell if it's joined or not. I think it's joined, but I have no way of really seeing what's published. So we should have a way of seeing, a way of checking what's, let's see, orchestrator, web RTC manager, and what can we see here? We can see tracks, local, mic muted, publishing audio. It has a couple of its own behavior subjects here. Are we using these? Mic muted. I don't think we are. I think what we want to know is whether we're publishing a track or not. But that's inside the client. Okay, I think the logic is working, but in the next, to debug, have a way of checking if we are publishing audio and which members we are receiving audio from. Alright, I think we can call it a day here.